It's time for Tiger Talk, presented by Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room. Old Chicago, amazing craft beers and food, north of I-70 in Hayes. Old Chicago, share, reconnect, celebrate. Tiger Talk is also brought to you by these premier Tiger sponsors. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, providing the best in-home loans to the Tiger community since 1920. The Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, part of the University of Kansas Health System, and the official physicians for Fort Hays State University Athletics. The certified public accountants of Adams, Brown, Barron, and Ball. Your trusted advisors, providing you with commitment, experience, and integrity. BTI, your John Deere dealer, with locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, Valley Hope of Norton. Get help and find hope. The Taco Shop. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. You've never had it so good. Horizon Appliance and Mattress. TVs, appliances, Traeger grills, and Tempur-Pedic bedding. Open 7 days a week at 1501 East 27th in Hayes. And Eagle Communications. Internet, TV, phone. Eagle Communications. Our community connected.
And a good Monday to you. Welcome into Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock, head women's coach Tony Hobson. Mark Johnson will be along a little bit later. Hard to believe, but our final basketball Tiger Talk of the year. The regular season wrapping up Saturday. Fort Hays State men and women both at home and got nice wins over rival Pittsburg State. And now the focus is the MIAA tournament, which gets underway actually on Wednesday. The women play for Thursday. The men will play on Friday. They're both in the quarterfinal round, but getting ready for some postseason basketball. And we are joined by head coach Tony Hobson here at Old Chicago. We're recorded on Monday over the noon hours. You can always order online at oldchicago.com and make sure to-go orders a breeze. Old Chicago, your craft beer authority, just north of the interstate in Hayes. And it's amazing. We talk about basketball, such a grind. I mean, it's a long sport. You start in October with practices and even individual workouts before that, and then you blink an eye, and here we are. It's March, and we're getting ready for the conference tournament. Even though it's a long season, it sometimes goes really, really quickly, and we kind of gotten to that fun part of the year now, getting set for the postseason.
Well, it always moves really fast once we get into conference play in January. It seems like for us, every other week you're on the road for 3 or 4 days, so those weeks just kind of disappear because you have a couple practices. You travel on Wednesday, you're gone Wednesday through Saturday night, sometimes this year even one time Sunday. So it just flies by. And once you get to that Christmas break and you come back and you have 2 or 3 practices and then away you go, and then you're just so into game preparation and getting ready for that next game, and that it just goes by really quickly.
Well, obviously, it's been a fun season for the ladies. They wrap up the regular season 27-1. Had already wrapped up the MIAA championships, and that was, I guess, maybe the big question going into last week's games. With everything tied up, other than potentially hosting a regional, and there's more work to do to that. Everything else, as far as a conference and your seed and all that was locked up. How would your team play? And it looked like didn't really phase them that much. Yeah. A very workmanlike win against Missouri Southern, and then had to kind of hold off a really good effort from Pittsburg State Saturday. The reason your team is 27-1 is kind of showed this week. I mean, they take care of business irregardless of the situation or the circumstance.
Well, I think one of those. One of the main reasons that we can do that, and that is because we have so many players that contribute that we don't have to have the same 1 or 2 people all the time just kind of carry us. So if we have maybe somebody is, okay, hey, we got this wrapped up, I'm going to take a night off, well, they're probably just not going to play as much, and I'll bring in somebody else, and they'll play well. So it really hasn't happened. We've really attended to our business, I think, and Thursday I thought we played really well against a desperate Southern team that had to have a win either at our place or at Kearney to have a chance to get into the tournament. And then we just had Pittsburgh is a tough crew. I mean, there's just the game down at Pitt was an anomaly. I mean, it was one of those nights where they couldn't really hit anything, and we were a little bit emotionally charged after losing Carly. It was the first game after losing Carly, and I mean, we just all played great and just ran them out of their home gym. I knew that, you know, embarrassment is a strong motivator, and I think when somebody comes in and it's supposed to be that should have been a really tight game down there, and just kind of embarrasses you at home, you know, the next time you play them that you're going to get a great effort from them, and I thought they did. They played well. We struggled a little bit against their zone, but you know, we've got. I told somebody after the game, I says, we have tea, and they didn't, because she really showed up on senior day, and it isn't like the other kids didn't play well too, but we had to play well that game.
And what makes that one tough is you're coming off a Missouri Southern, and it's been this way forever. It doesn't matter. Something about Missouri Southern, doesn't matter who the coaches are. They've had 3 of them here since they all play the kind of the same way. They're tough, they're physical. You got to be strong with the basketball. If you don't bring it, it's going to be a rough game, and you're going to be, you know, battling to get through it, and that was the case again. But your team seemed to handle that well, and I guess that's what's been fun about watching your team play this year is different ways, different styles, different attacks, different approaches from your opponent. They seem to be able to adapt and can find different ways to win ball games. It's not always pretty looking, but you know, I thought a solid effort and had a great second quarter to kind of get some separation, and never really let Southern be a part of that after that point.
Well, we ended that kind of at halftime. I don't know. I mean, you're up 18. They've scored 20 points. So my thing at halftime is if you guys will just, you know, commit yourselves to the defensive end for the second half, you need to score 5 points to win this game. You know, and when you look at it like that, and that's probably not the case because they're not going to just score 20 all the time in half, but we defended really well. We had a nice little patented run there where we got away from them and had a comfortable lead at half. But you always come out of that game with Southern with you got a couple bruises that you don't know for sure when they happen, but they happen sometime. You've got some scratches on your forearms and maybe on your shoulders from where they swiped at the ball. I don't know if they don't have nail clippers down there or what, but anyway, it's just like you said, it's always a rough game, and I thought we had a little chippy stuff going on with one of their kids wanted some shenanigans, but we didn't. You know, we just didn't get into that with them, and we just shot the free throws that we had coming to us and went ahead and played. So I thought we got some really good efforts on Thursday night, because I know they were already looking forward to Pitt a little bit, senior night, and you worry about those things, but. You know, I've worried about a lot of things with this crew all year that we have, and a lot of it's like a lot of things we worry about. A lot of it's unfounded, and it never came to fruition because they just take care of their business. And you know, again, I'll tell you, I bet Southern is tired of. They're tired of Bell. You know, they're
another double.
They're seeing Bell's. She had, I'll tell you, against them, she had 2 just really good games. Against one team, so I don't know, something about that matchup really suits her.
Yeah, she played really well. 18 points, 11 boards, 7 of 9 shooting, and the Tigers win that one on Thursday, 79-59. Coach alluded to it. Senior Day Saturday, a short ceremony, small class, 2 of them, but a very emotional senior day. We'll talk about that in the Pittsburgh State game, and of course, we'll eventually look ahead to the MIAA tournament, which for the Tigers begins on Thursday night. At 6 o'clock against a, as they say, yet-to-be-determined opponent. Tiger Talk recorded at Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room over the noon hour on Mondays. Old Chicago inviting you to join them for happy hour from 3 until 6 Monday through Friday. Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room. We'll take a break. More with Coach Hobson on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wertenberger Construction.
I'm Patty Stoll, broker-owner of Coldwell Banker Executive Realty. We want your dreams to become a reality. Coldwell Banker Executive Realty prides itself in putting you first.
10 to shoot. Randall up top to Leggett. T right wing to Kennett. Shot clock down to 5. Kennett launches up a 3 off the back rim. Rebounded though by Rolfs. Plays it over to Mitty. Back to Taylor. Open left corner 3. She knocked it in. Taylor got the rebound and then the 3. And the Tigers lead by 18 once again. 33 to 15. That was some of the action from Thursday in Fort Hays State's victory over Missouri Southern as they knocked off the Lions by a final of 79 to 59. That was part of that second quarter in which Fort Hays State cruised. They built at one point a 19-point lead and had a big lead and to go on to win it by 20. And then, as we talked about, coming back on Saturday for Senior Day against Pittsburg State. Tiger Talk recorded at Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room over the noon hour on Monday. Be sure to check out their late night specials every day starting at only $3. It's all at Old Chicago, your pizza and craft beer authority. Joined with women's head coach Tony Hobson as the Tigers get set for the MIAA tournament, coming off a 5-point win over Pittsburg State. We'll talk about Senior Day in a little bit, but been a while since you've really been in one of those games down the stretch. I think we talked about it on the broadcast, how probably not a bad thing. You got to figure from here on out you're going to be in some tight games, and not that your team can't handle it and hasn't been in it before, but it's been a while, and you got a great effort from Pittsburg State, but made enough plays to hold them at bay and get a solid win at home over a good Gorilla team.
Well, we have to understand that we're not just going to just roll over everybody all the time. There's going to be times when we need to be able to play those close games, and we haven't been in a lot of them, which is fine with me. But I knew that Pitt State would not roll over. I liked how we came out and we started off the game with a bang, executed real well, got a nice lead on them after the first quarter. But I was hoping they would go away, but they just wouldn't, and they just got too many good offensive players to hold them down that well all the time. And they went zone, and everybody says, "Boy, do you ever practice against a zone? I mean, that zone really hurts you." And, you can do what you want. You have to be able to make an open shot. I mean, a zone offense is basically getting open looks, and then you have to be able to make them. So they were taking away our inside. I mean, we pass it really well from post to post. I mean, Bell and T really find each other a lot against the zone. They were packing it in and taking that away, and then trying to give us an outside shot that was contested. And kind of, especially the second half, it slowed us down. It slowed the game down to a crawl, and they were walking it up, and then we were facing a zone. So it was just a kind of a slow down game, lower possessions, and each time you got the ball, it was really at a premium because it was a slower game.
You had a nice lead. You mentioned, I think you had runs of 8-0 and 9-0 in the first quarter, led by as many as 16 in the second. They made that push before halftime, got it to 7. I think they got as close as 3 on a couple of occasions, but then an 11-2 run got it back to a double-figure lead early in the fourth. And really, other than you shot at 21%, well, I think it was your lowest fourth quarter of the season, maybe wouldn't have been quite as close, but you had an answer every time they made a run. That's been kind of a trademark for this squad. Teams might get close, but you never seem to quite let them get over the hump and maybe get all that full momentum. They seem to hit a big shot or two to answer some of those things.
Well, part of it on Saturday was just was T either getting an offensive rebound putback or just something like that, just making something happen that was positive. And the second quarter when they made their little push on us, they got to the line several times, and it seemed like we couldn't make a good defensive play. We got called 2 or 3 times, so we kind of helped them because they were struggling scoring it. And then once you get people to the line, they get a couple shots up and they make them, and then all of a sudden their 3-point shot feels better. And so that was kind of the case there. And then that fourth quarter, I thought we did a good job of getting to the line, and I think we missed 3 or 4 free throws that we could have definitely used. But in the end, we had enough players step up and do something. I thought Casey had another solid game. Laney was fine, and I was worried about her, just her stamina from missing practice most of the week because of sickness. But she kind of waded through Thursday. I could see it, but then she felt better Saturday, so that was good. And then I really liked, Haley Walker came in and did a really nice job. And what we were looking for, we've asked Taylor to, she goes from guarding on the wing her whole career, and now we're asking her to guard all these point guards and playing on-ball defense, and it's hard. It's hard for a big wing player, tall wing player, to make that adjustment in some cases, and especially against Pitt, where they have a real quick little 5'4". She's hard to keep in front of you for anybody. So she was struggling a little bit there. She still rebounded the ball well. So I thought we would just throw Haley in there and see if maybe she could maybe a little more containment, and then she kind of got in the flow and hit a couple threes, and then she had a couple big steals there at the end. So she just took advantage of her opportunity to come in and play, and it's just one of those things. That's why we're 27-1 is because she comes in, and I don't know if she doesn't come in and hit a couple threes, we might lose that game. And we've had games where last time we played Pitt, Taylor Ross dominated them. So both times we play Southern, Bell gets the best of them, and then you always have T there, and then you have Laney, who goes back-to-back 20 points down in Oklahoma, and then Casey has, she has 23 one of those nights. You just, when you have so many weapons that can pop up at any time, you just have a lot less chance of getting upset. And then, you've got Randall coming in and doing some stuff all the time. So I think that really paid off for us again against Pitt, because we had a kind of an unlikely suspect coming in and doing a really good job for 20 minutes.
Now, Tigers get the victory, 67-62. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk about Senior Day. Pretty cool gesture there by Tatiana Leggett, wearing her, I guess, fallen teammate, if you will, jersey. And then we'll talk about the MIAA tournament. We'll do that when we return to Tiger Talk, which is recorded over the noon hour at Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room. Do it over the noon hour on Mondays. Old Chicago, it's your craft beer authority. 40 rotating draft beers, so stop by today north of the interstate in Hayes. We'll take a break. More with Coach Hobson after this time out on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wertenberger Construction.
Ready to discover something new? The next time you're in your car, tune your radio to 94.3 FM.
It's here.
It's Hayes' greatest hits.
Love it.
On 1400 KAYS and 94.3 FM.
94.3 FM, KAYS. Go ahead, check us out.
Lady Page will drive. She'll step through that zone, miss it. An air ball, rebound by Leggett. Out to Randall, now to Walker. Three-pointer, swing! The freshman Walker with her first basket of the Tigers lead by 8, 50-42. Big-time shot from the freshman from Arizona. And welcome back to Old Chicago, the home of Tiger Talk and their World Beer Tour. 110 beers from around the world. Ask for details the next time you're at Old Chicago and begin your World Beer Tour north of the interstate in Hayes. That was a big play. Part of that little run, I think Pitt had cut it to 3 twice. 41-38 and then 43-40, and then you go on that 11-2 run, and that 3 got it up to 9. And that was a remarkable play, too, in aspects of it, the air ball, and then to keep the ball from going out of bounds. I think T saved it in, and then they found Walker on the second pass and buried the 3. Just great hustle on everybody's part, and then Haley stepped up, and she's shooting a 3 well, and you just see that confidence. That was a key play that kind of answered their one little push there that had a legit chance to maybe come back and take the lead against you.
Well, I mean, if you don't make that play, then they can come down and tie it up, and it's just a momentum play and a real swing. But it starts off. You had to have a good chain of events there. It started off, and that's why you just can't quit on plays. Okay, so you shoot an air ball. It happens. Several times a game for all teams.
Yeah.
But T didn't quit on it. Made a great save along the baseline, and then she saves it in, and we made a good pass to somebody that hit a shot. So you had to have You had to have 3 good plays in a row there to make that happen.
Yep, the Tigers did. They get the win. It was senior day, and Tatiana, 25 points, third time in her career. She scored 25 and matched a career high. Had another double-double with the 10 rebounds, 10 of 14 shooting, 6 assists. She's now in the top 10 of the MIAA in assists per game, which is remarkable for a 5-player. And it was a cool ceremony. They honored, obviously, her and Carly Heim before the game, and she came out wearing number 13, Carly's jersey. That was a cool touch, not missed by anybody in the arena. It was just that was a fun moment. And then for her to go out and play the way she did, I mean, you can't script a senior day much better than that.
No, you just can't. And then at the halftime of the men's game, she gets the citizenship award. So it was a great day for both seniors. But more so T, because she actually got to play. But I feel so, it was bothering Carly a lot that she wasn't involved in that on the floor. But she knows that her teammates are still thinking about her all the time. And one of those gestures, T she came and she says, "Can I wear Carly's jersey?" And my first question was, "Well, will it fit you?" And she says, "Well, I'm going to try it on this afternoon, and if you think it looks okay, I'm going to wear it." And I asked Carly, and she says, "Oh, that's fine. And, maybe somebody doesn't want you wearing their jersey."
That's a good point.
But anyway, it was a cool thing, and a nice gesture by T. They're best friends, they're roommates. They have been since they were freshmen, and everybody was, not everybody, but I had 2 or 3 players saying, "How come we're doing senior day before instead of after our game?" And I said, "Well, I like to get it done," and everybody was worried about T because she's such an emotional kid. She plays with emotion. T's going to be T might be a wreck, and she might not be able to play. And I said, "Well, I'll tell you what. You worry about you being ready to play. We'll see. T will be fine." And I think she answered that call.
Yeah.
She was emotional, but it didn't affect her play, and she had a great game.
Well, she channeled it in the right direction, certainly, and that was fun to see, and hopefully can channel a little bit more of that emotion. Conference tournament, a new format this year. 10 teams get in, all the games in Kansas City. It actually starts on Wednesday with the bottom 4 seeds and the men and women playing. So as a 1 seed, one of the benefits is you get the quarterfinals, but you don't know who you play. So it'll be a little bit different. You'll have to wait and see who wins on Wednesday night, but either Missouri Western or Nebraska Kearney. You're in the conference tournament. Everybody's going to play well. You're going to get their best shot. You got to bring your A game. It's postseason basketball. We always talk about the non-conference and your conference. Now you begin the 3rd phase, which for some is the most important. For a lot, it's the most exciting. And still, on paper, maybe this conference tournament, other than winning another trophy, doesn't look like it means a lot. But got that whole regional thing just kind of out there yet, but a chance to still host if you can have a good week in Kansas City.
Sure.
So still a lot to play for going into this conference tournament.
Well, there is, and this new format is interesting. Actually, if you're a 1 or 2 seed, it's way more of an advantage the way we were doing it before, because now we can we will play. We can sit and watch the team play the night before. The team that we play will have played the day prior, where before they had 2 or 3 days in between. And then even on this, if you do make it to the semifinals, the team that you play on that day will have played the day before. So if you're a 1 or 2 seed, I think it's a little bit more of an advantage. It's just another interesting. They wanted to have more teams get a chance to experience Kansas City. This is a way they can do it, and it's a good format. But on our side, there's one of the teams we might play the first round has given us as much trouble as anybody practically.
Yep.
Kearney's been a tough matchup for us. Mo West, they'll give Kearney all they want. They're a tough crew. They upset. They were number 12 seed last year, beat 5 on their home court, and then they beat 4 the first round. So they made it to semis last year with about the same team. So that's the bottom ones. We've got 6 teams in our conference that are all ranked in the region right now somewhere, and boy, we're deep as far as talent goes in the league, as far as good teams. I mean, we've got, I think right now there's 5 teams that have won 20 games or more, and then I think Washburn's won 19. So just a lot of good teams up there that are. It'll just be a knockdown, drag out is what it'll be. But I know there's only one team going down there that can say they beat all the other teams, and that's us. So we know we can if we're just ready to play. And of course, you have to have a little luck, and the ball has to go in once in a while. But the main thing is just to be mentally ready and just play hard and see where the chips fall.
Haven't won that tournament. I'd imagine obviously the team would like to do that, but is that a huge priority? Or obviously how you do in the NCAA tournament and has been a big goal, but I'm sure that's still. You want to win a conference tournament if you can.
Yeah, we've been in that championship game a couple times and haven't been able to win it. So I think it's a kind of a little goal. We're going to use it as that because. You don't want to go in and say, hey, we're going to the NCAA tournament. It doesn't matter if we win any games down there or not. That's not a way to be if you're a competitor. So we're really going to try to go down and obviously play our best, and we're still playing with a chance to host the region. But I think all these kids were on that team last year, and we should have won it last year. Mm-hmm. But shoulda doesn't get it done, and that's why you play the games. And so I think most of them kind of remember that and would sure like to go down there and play well. But we're going to have to play 3 really good games, and something that we're definitely capable of doing. But again, you have to prove it.
I know this much. There's going to be a lot of Tiger fans there. It's going to be a great environment. I've heard about the pre-sale all-tournament passes already sold out. That's never happened this early. So, and Tiger, we saw it at home, but that's great crowd, makes it a great atmosphere. You're going to have the fan support there. Hopefully 3 great games for your team, but should be a fun weekend, always is, when you get to that conference tournament.
Well, that schedule is just perfect for the fans.
Oh, I know.
They can come down Thursday, and they can see 2 games in about 18 hours, our first rounds, and then we would both play Saturday. So really, it's kind of spread out perfect for it. It isn't like we play Thursday the early game and our guys play Friday the late game. It's like we play in the evening, they play the next day at noon. It's just set up nice for our fans, and it's really great that we've already sold that many tickets. I know we'll have a good crowd, and they're always loud. Our band's good. Everybody's always a little envious of what we bring down there, and everybody thinks that we're like 45 minutes away.
It feels like it.
We're one of the farthest ones out, and our fans will travel.
They will, and it should be a lot of fun. Coach, we'll see you on Thursday. Good luck in the conference tournament.
Thanks, Gerard.
That's head coach Tony Hobson. Again, they'll play either Nebraska Kearney or Missouri Western Thursday night at 6 in Municipal Auditorium. We need to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk with men's coach Mark Johnson. We'll do that next right here on Tiger Talk along the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wertenberger Construction. Hi, everyone. This is Gerard Wellbrock inviting you to join us for Tiger Talk. We record it over the noon hours, Mondays at Old Chicago, north of the interstate in Hayes, and play it back at 6 o'clock Monday nights on Tiger Radio Mix 103. You can also catch it on Eagle TV's Channel 14 and 614, Tuesday and Wednesdays at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m., and always on HaysPost.com. So join us for Tiger Talk over the noon hour Mondays at Old Chicago. Martin holds the ball, plays it in the lane to Tharp, cut off, now out to Walker for a 3, it's in and out, no good, rebounded by Cooper, outlet to O'Neal, Trey wants to run, heads down the lane, to the basket, he baked it in, timeout, Fort Hays State, Trey O'Neal through 2 defenders scores, and the Tigers are back on top by 1. Yeah, some of the action from Thursday and a thrilling win over Missouri Southern. Tigers get the weekend sweep over Southern and Pittsburgh State, and now they gear up for the MIAA tournament. Tiger Talk presented by Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room. We do it over the noon hour, and it's a place to watch your favorite basketball games. Big 12 tournament coming up, so we invite everybody to come on out and watch here at Old Chicago. And while you're here, you can sign up for their OC Rewards program, and all new members receive a free appetizer for up to $10 after your first transaction. At Old Chicago, it's your pizza and craft beer authority. We are joined now by head coach Mark Johnson. 2 really good games, and you knew they would be. Missouri Southern ranked 25th in the country, Pittsburgh State on Saturday, and boy, your team really responded after the tough loss at Northeastern State the Saturday prior. 2 big games at home, played well, and it was a lot of fun, and great wins by your guys.
Yeah, it was. 2 really good teams, and like Missouri Southern, they're ranked 25th, but they're a lot higher than that. They just play in the MIAA. I think if they're in any other league, they'd be a top 10 team in the polls also. It seems like at our level, polls don't necessarily really, resemble of what's really happening across the country. And, they're very good. And, big thing for us that I was happy about, we played a really good team, and I thought that really good team played really good. We didn't beat them because they had a bad night. I mean, we beat them because how well we played. We knew we had to make shots against them if you expect to win. They're just too good offensively. It's not going to be a 65-60 kind of win and expect to win. You're not going to be able to put them at that that low of point total. And thought it was really probably from even I would think a fan's point, a pretty entertaining game. I mean, I thought it was a high-level game by both teams. Both teams played well, and we made just enough plays down the stretch. Obviously, Trey's finish there in the highlight was huge. We finished off our 4 free throws. And, it was a great win.
It was, and you had to come from behind. You were down 12 in the first half, back and forth, really entertaining first 8 or 10 minutes, and then kind of hit a stretch. You couldn't hit some shots. They came down, and they were shooting it well, and they went up by a dozen, but you had a great close of the first half. And we've seen that happen against you a lot this year. I thought that was huge, getting you within 4, certainly within striking range at halftime.
No doubt. I mean, you had to close the gap, and that was really I wouldn't say that won us the game. It gave us an opportunity to win the game. You go in at halftime against a team that good, down 12, or if they extended a little bit more, you're down 14-15. You're probably not going to be able to climb that mountain because you just can't get enough stops, And I thought that was really a critical stretch. We fit Nige's tip in there at the buzzer, kind of gave us a little momentum, and then had a good second half and handled their zone 100 times better this time around than the first time.
You got it to 4 and you score on the first possession, little lob play, which you obviously probably drew up. That was Bill Self-like, coming out of the halftime. But it's one play. But
right.
You scored, and it was kind of, you could tell it was drawn up in the locker room and kind of set the tone for the second half. Even though it's just 2 points, it seemed to be 2 big points.
Yeah, well, you got to get off to a good start. You want to get the momentum going your direction and keep what you've gained from the first half. And I'd say the difference between us and KU, when they throw that, it's at the top of the square, and they tear their goal down. I think ours wasn't a perfect pass, so just make sure we lay it in and get the 2 points. So it was good. It got us off to a good start, and our guys did a great job of executing. And that's who we are. And we really, we'll get into seniors, I'm sure, later. But I mean, that's what they do. They're high character guys, and they execute. We have to be able to execute at a high level if we want to be able to compete with the talent of Missouri Southern in Pitt States.
Yeah, you scored the first 4, tied it up. It's kind of back and forth. I think you got up by 5 midway through. They tied. I think it had 7 ties and 7 lead changes over the final 9 minutes. And we heard the highlight from Trey. That was a big one. Marcus Cooper hit a big bucket in there. I think he got a steal and he got a dunk. And then the O'Neal 3. And you got some big stops. And it's not an easy team to stop. I mean, they got Cam Martin, who's as good as anybody in the league. You got a couple, I thought, key stops down the stretch.
Yeah, I thought our guys did. You can't just go double team him all night because they shoot it too well. And it's one of those, if you allow them to make threes, they're just going to separate. And I know Cam Martin had 29, but it's kind of, we got to let him at times two us to death. And we worked about double teaming and coming the low side and trying to get a trap and get his momentum to the baseline. We really just kind of saved it till the very end of the game. And I thought Kyler was there and made a great read. And that's how Kyler got the first steal and got that stop. And then late, I think we did it again and got it late. Mm-hmm. And our guys did a great job of being able to do that because you can't, like I said, you can't just run at them all night because those other guys, you saw how well they can play and how well they can shoot it. And, we just made a little adjustment there at the end, and our guys did a great job with it.
I mean, because, Kinzer Kinzer Lambert had a great first half. Then you slow him down, and then what do? They bring another guy off, comes in, and Braylon Walker goes crazy in the second.
I think Kinzer's kind of an overlooked player at times because obviously how great Cam Martin is, and Clark has had a really good career. I don't know if this year has been as good as his first 2 years, so he's kind of – everybody talks about him being the third option. I'm not so sure. I mean, that guy he's probably one of the best all-around players we have. 6'4", athleticism, shoots it, drives it, rebounds. Tough kid. I mean, he's a top 10 player in our conference for sure.
Then you had Pittsburgh State on Saturday, and we talked about it. I mean, athletic and talent-wise, two of the more talented teams in the league. They had kind of gone through a rough patch, had fought through some injuries, had 1-2 in a row, and you knew they were going to give you a good shot, and they certainly did. And you had to come from behind to do it in the second half. But a heck of a game, and I think you even mentioned after the game, that game kind of showed what this team was about. I mean, not always pretty, not always flashy, but they fight hard, they compete, and they battle, and they certainly did that for the whole 40 minutes and found a way to emerge with a win.
Yeah, no question. Like I said, senior night, I thought our effort was pretty good. We played fine defensively. We did a great job on Lozoya and Franklin. Those guys are good players, offensive players, and we made them take tough shots and really made it hard on them. Offensively, like I said, I think sometimes senior night, just the emotions of it, we kind of struggled. And then they came out, hit 2 threes in the second half, and really their athleticism compared to us, we can't be playing at the same pace as them because they got every offensive rebound. I felt like their weakness is they don't have depth, and we were able to bring, and I thought we brought it up another level. And the fatigue of them kind of went down, and then all of a sudden we were able to make our burst. I think, their lack of depth hurt them, and our ability to play 9-10 guys and not really, like I would say, outside of Brady, I think you go to every other position, everybody's there's not a whole lot of separation. I mean, Nige can come in and give us offense. Trey and Aaron are very similar. Marcus, Devin, Jared, Grant, whoever. I don't feel like there's a lot of separation from that. We can just keep bringing in guys, and I thought that made a difference in the game for us. And then Brady and Nige had a great stretch offensively, and Trey hit I think it was a 1-point game. They doubled Brady, and Trey hit a big three in the corner for us to go up 4.
Yeah, I think Dustin pulled this out. That O'Neal 3, it was the only basket, and you scored 20-some points now with someone with W in their last name.
Yeah.
Worth and right. I mean, and we've kind of seen the emergence of Nige here the last 2 or 3 games. I know we've talked, and you've mentioned it, that you've been trying to get him, but that's 3 in a row now. He's really emerged. He's been more aggressive. He's hit some shots, and he kind of gives you something you don't have offensively, and that was good to see.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've told them all the time, man, can you imagine how happy Devin and Marcus and Trey and all these guys would be if I coached them the same way I tell them, go, shoot it, make a play. I mean, I'm telling them, no. And Nige, yeah, we've harped on him every day. Go, be aggressive, do something, go. You have the ability level. At times he's just, like I said, he's reserved and he takes a back seat to what's going on out there, and we need his offense. It's a little bit, especially with not having, as we're going forward, I'm going to go without Devin. I mean, we have a hard time scoring, and Devin's a guy that can give you whatever, 10 points. Last time we played Lincoln, he had 18. That's,
yeah.
We need Nige to go get, hey, in your time frame, however that be, it's probably not going to be over 20 minutes, but you have the ability. We need those 10 to 12 points that you have the ability to maybe put on the board.
How much is that being a freshman? We have a veteran squad. I mean, just the natural, okay. These guys have been here.
I think with Nige, I saw it in high school because we saw Nige, Aaron Nicholson and him went to the same high school, and Aaron's 2 years older. There was another guy, James Conley, that went on to Oral Roberts and played. That was a guard also. And as a sophomore, Nige would say he deferred to the older guy. I mean, Nige's he's a really nice kid, nice person, doesn't have that, egotistical and aggressive personality that sometimes I wish he would have. He just kind of defers to the older guys. And then when those Aaron and James Conley left, Nige ended up being the second leading scorer in school history. So hopefully that'll happen here too, and the fact that some of these seniors leave and he gets a little more, hey, I'm more a part of it, this is more responsibilities put on my shoulders, that he'll be more aggressive.
Well, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back, talk about those seniors, and look ahead to what should be a very interesting quarterfinal round game Friday against the Lincoln Blue Tigers. We'll do that when we return to Tiger Talk, which is recorded live over the noon hour at Old Chicago. And make your plans to join us for lunch here at Old Chicago. Great pizzas and more. Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room north of the interstate in Hayes. Final segment of Tiger Talk after this break on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wurtenberger Construction.
As you plan for your business in 2018, advertising should be an important part of your growth strategy. Digital marketing puts your business in front of the right customers online. Advertising with the Hayes Post ensures your message will be viewed 1.5 million times a month, including 375,000 unique views a week. Are you ready to grow your business? Advertise with us today. It's affordable and it works. Call us today at 785-628-0467. Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Worth, left low block, picks up the dribble, back to Aaron on the left side. He'll attack to the rim, goes up, missed it. Tip try doesn't go. Worth gathers and put it in. And Fort Hays State has their largest lead. And a timeout called by Pittsburgh State. 64-58. Yeah, that was part of a 13 13-0 run in which Fort Hays State would build a 13-point lead. The game was deadlocked at 58, and then Fort Hays Pitt got a late three, a deep three, to end that 13-0 run, but a big win there for Fort Hays State. We're at Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room. Stop by for lunch. Stop by anytime. Great burgers, sandwiches, salads, distinctive tap room fare, and, of course, the great pizza, all at Old Chicago, your place for serious craft brews and seriously good food. It was senior day. You had 5 of them that you honored, and we talked a little bit about it last week. They've all meant so much to the program and have improved so much, and that's one of the reasons they're having a great I think something that gets lost on this year, you're 18-10, and unfortunately at Fort Hays State I think the standard is, I mean, there three national championship teams kind of skewed what is, a great year at Fort Hays State. But you look at it, we'll see where you finish out, but your top 10 difficult schedule in the country. I think 7, and you're probably going to move up after this week.
Yeah, we'll probably move up this week.
18-10. That's a heck of a year.
Yeah, there's 305 Division II programs. I think when it's all said and done, if we were fortunate enough, you're playing Lincoln, who's another winning record, and then if you have the fortune to win that game, you play Northwest Missouri, you'd be 30-0 at that time, most likely play them. I mean, now all of a sudden you're looking at, you might have the second hardest schedule in the country when it's all said and done. Our non-conference schedule was difficult, and unfortunately at our level, I mean, put us in. I mean, obviously this league is Big 12, SEC, ACC of Division I, whatever you want to say that, and you finish 4th by yourself by 2 games. I mean, you're in the NCAA tournament, and it's a no-brainer, and you're a high seed.
Good seed, yeah.
And especially when you throw in the teams we played in the non-conference, and you had the strength of schedule that we're going to finish with. Like I said, you're looking at a number 3 or 4 seed in the NCAA tournament at worst case. Instead, we probably have to win the conference tournament to get in at this level. It's unfortunate that's what this level is, and we don't get rewarded for playing in this league. But yeah, it's a pretty good accomplishment of what they've been able to do, and really you just can't have bad moments. If you look back and had to do it all over again, Brady breaking his nose and missing. He practiced 3 days before our first game. We go up to Minnesota, and I think he averaged 6 points for 2 games. You know what I mean? And that's a different game if Brady's Brady. And but unfortunately, that cost us an opportunity probably to not have to win the conference tournament. But yeah. Jared, you go through the deal here. I mean, Kyler Kinnaman, like I said, there's no one tougher, no one that plays harder than Kyler. Just makes things happen. He really got the run started.
Yes.
They hit 2 threes. We're down 15. Call timeout. Out of that timeout, he got 2 steals in a row and kind of got us going. Trey, I think he's been a 40% shooter. Solid. He's just a solid player. Going to do what he's supposed to do every day. Comes from a winning program. Him and Kyler both. Obviously, Grant Holmes is a guy that's had success in our program. Could have played, more probably at times, but, he's a great kid, accepted his role. Marcus Cooper's come in and really give us what we needed out of him in 2 years. And then Brady has had a great career. My probably biggest disappointment outside of your coverage and all that is it hasn't gone recognized enough that Brady Worth, and I can't go back in the laurels of Fort Hays State basketball. I can only go the last 30 years. I'm kind of aware, and all this. Here's a hometown kid. He's probably the greatest hometown kid to play in Fort Hays State program history. And I don't know if that got recognized enough about how good a player he is and what kind of career he's had. He's 1,000-point scorer. He's been a great player for us.
And and they don't come to get in your hometown. They don't come along very often. To get someone who's got the size to be able to play and do all that. And it's been really fun to watch him grow and develop as a player. And offensively, he's as good as there is in the league.
Oh yeah. If we got another Brady from Hayes in 10 years, it'd be tremendous. We just you don't get that fortunate. But he's had a great career, been a really good player, and he's going to be close to I feel like he's a first-team all-conference guy. You just don't know how it's going to vote. Obviously, I think there's 3 guys in my mind that are no-brainers. Obviously, Joey Wittes from Northwest, they won the league. Javion Blake and Cam Martin. I think those 3 are no-brainers. Now there's 2 spots available. I feel like Brady should be one of those 2, but we'll just have to see what the other coaches do. You can't vote for your own guys, so we'll see what happens. But he definitely will be an all-conference player.
Well, conference tournament for you guys, noon on Friday. Lincoln, obviously a challenging matchup. You had a great game to beat them a couple of weeks ago at home, or about 3 weeks ago. They're a good team, some outstanding talent, and when they're shooting it well, that's what's scary. You held them to a pretty good percentage, and some of that they missed shots, some of that you played some pretty good D, but they have made some – they haven't always won, but they have played really well since they've been able to get more consistently into the conference tournament in Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean, they've almost beaten those teams, and I think they were the lower seed, obviously, and playing a high seed. And, we're out here 4-5. I mean, that's kind of obviously – but, yeah, we did a great job on Smith and Ivory here, and it still was a barely win.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can do any better job on those two than we did the first time around. But, the big thing with us, we got to play great defense. We got to guard. And then for us, we have to have a stretch where we make shots. We just have moments where we don't. And now with Devin not being able to play, I mean, you look last time we played Lincoln, he had 18 points. I mean, that's a big loss in the fact that we play him about 15 to 20 minutes, but in those 15 to 20, he's averaging 9 points a game. Yeah, offensively putting points on the board, and that's for us. At times, that takes us, instead of scoring 55, he gets us to 65. Instead of scoring 60, he gets us to 70. So, I mean, hopefully we can have some guys pick it up there, whether it be Grant, Marcus Cooper, I think, starting to get a little bit healthier. Mm-hmm. That maybe, but we're going to have a moment where we make. I mean, you wish it's the whole game, but I mean, we got to have a stretch where we make shots if we want to win the game. And we were able to do that at Pitt. We made some shots in that run in the second half, and we got to be able to do it on Friday. It won't be easy.
I talked with Tony. I mean, advanced tickets, I think, already sold out. The all tournament passes at Fort Hays. It's always a great crowd from Fort Hays State. They love their Tiger basketball. Always a good atmosphere, and hopefully you guys can win some games and make a run. But it should be a fun weekend in Kansas City.
Yeah, we're fortunate. The people that we have, the traveling that we have, it's not like we're an hour away from Kansas City. We get a great turnout, and I do think we're also fortunate in the fact that this is Division II, but this conference tournament is run like a high-level Division I. I mean, there is no other league in the country that has this kind of conference tournament. So we're fortunate with the crowd support we have, and then we're fortunate that they get to go to an event like this, and we get to be, as players and coaches, get to be a part of this event at Division II. It's pretty cool.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you Friday.
All right, thanks, Troy.
There you go, Mark Johnson, coach of the Fort Hays State Tigers. Again, they'll take on the Blue Tigers of Lincoln. First time they've met in the postseason. That'll be coming up at noon on Friday. Tiger Talk presented by the Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, part of the University of Kansas Health System, the Taco Shop, Adams Brown, Barron & Ball, Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, BTI, Horizon Appliance and Mattress, Valley Hope of Norton, Eagle Communications, and, of course, Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room, your craft beer authority north of the interstate. Serious good food, seriously good brews at Old Chicago. Don't forget the video replay Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. on Eagle Cable Channel 14 and 614, of course, online, HayesPost.com. Hope to see you out in Kansas City. The women get it started Thursday, 6 o'clock against either Nebraska Kearney or Missouri Western. And then Friday at noon, the Tiger men and Lincoln. Catch all the action right here on Tiger Radio Mix 103 and the Tiger Sports Network. It's going to wrap it up for Tiger Talk. For the coaches, Gerard Wellbrock, good night.
That was another legend on 99 KZ Country. And yes, before that, we had a brand new artist. Your home for today's stars and the legends. We play real country. I'm Teresa Trapp. Weather, news, sports, it's all here. We're on Facebook, and there is a listen live link at HayesPost.com. Dial us in on your radio at 99.5 FM. KHAZ, Real Country. 99 KZ Country.